Hello, I'm here to talk to you about that magical elixir of life. No, not Coca-Cola, although it is refreshing. I'm here to talk to you about water. That's right, water. That magical liquid that keeps us all living. Let's start out with a science model. Science model! One molecule of water is made up of two hydrogen atoms, covalently bonded with one oxygen atom at a 105-degree angle. These three atoms share electrons, making each one stable based on the octet rule. Oxygen is stable with 8 electrons, while hydrogen, an exception to the octet rule, is stable with 2. Oxygen and hydrogen have different electronegativities, or an atom's ability to attract electrons. Oxygen's is much higher, which results in dipole moments. Electrons are pulled towards oxygen, giving it a slightly negative charge and giving hydrogen a slightly positive charge. This means water is very polar. Water is so polar that if it was a bear, you know what kind of bear it would be? That's right, a black bear. The polarity of water results in hydrogen bonds between the oxygen and hydrogen atoms in the water molecule. Water's bonds and its high polarity are what give it all the important properties that make it what it is, a necessity to life. In the rest of this video, we'll be going through the 5 most important properties of water. How exciting! Water, due to its hydrogen bonding, is a very sticky molecule. Water sticks to itself, resulting in water droplets having a sort of skin. This is cohesion, when water sticks to itself. Water also sticks to other substances. This is called adhesion. Cohesion and adhesion aid water transportation in all aspects of a plant's biology. Plants have water-conducting cells, which are able to hold water thanks to our friend cohesion. Adhesion to the cell walls of the plant, as well as to itself, allows water to move all around a plant. A tree can transport water up to 200 meters up and down its structure, thanks to these magical properties of water. The only way water striders can walk on the surface of water is due to the strength of hydrogen bonds. In a liquid with lower surface tension, a water strider would sink like a water strider with weights attached to it. The way hydrogen bonds in water interact with each other, as well as the shape of a water molecule, results in another all-important property. Ice floats. Ice floats because once the water molecules no longer have enough kinetic energy to break hydrogen bonds, each water molecule is bound to only 4 other water molecules. This results in a strong lattice structure in which the water molecules are not as tightly packed as they are in a water's liquid state. The biggest impact ice floating has on biology is seen in the marine ecosystems and organisms on Earth. If ice did not float, then in the winter, entire lakes and seas would freeze solid. Life would not be able to survive. Instead, organisms can survive under the ice, as it provides a layer of insulation to stop the water underneath it from freezing solid. Do you ever wonder why the pot on a stove gets incredibly hot before water even comes close to boiling? Well, this is due to water's high specific heat. It takes much more energy to increase water's temperature as it does to increase the temperature of most other substances. This is because of water's hydrogen bonds, which are tougher to break than most other intermolecular bonds. This property allows oceans to absorb massive amounts of heat and only rise a few degrees. If water did not have such a high specific heat, then the entire ocean could boil during the summer months, as a lower specific heat would mean a lower boiling point. As delicious as all the lobsters and crabs being boiled at once would be, it would certainly not be good for the Earth. And actually, life may never have evolved in water at all. This is also the reason coastal regions have milder climates. And it also makes water a good coolant for our body's organs. Most importantly, it allows our cells to resist temperature changes in our environment, because they are all water-based as well. Water is a very versatile solvent, meaning many substances can be dissolved into water. It is not a universal solvent, because if it was, it would dissolve any container it was put in, including the Earth itself and ourselves, which would be very bad. Like all of water's properties, This one can be traced to water's polarity. Water's high polarity means that the oxygen atoms have a negative charge, and the hydrogen atoms have a positive charge. When other polar molecules are placed in water, water molecules dissolve it by separating the ions in the molecule. The negatively charged oxygen atoms surround any cations, or positively charged molecules, and the positively charged hydrogen atoms surround any negatively charged ions, or anions. The resulting sphere of water molecules around each ion is called a hydration shell. Nonpolar compounds can also be dissolved in water, such as proteins and sugars, which is why water is so important to the cell. Cells have a water-based liquid, which can dissolve sugars and proteins into itself. Hydrophilic compounds are molecules which have an affinity for water, but that does not mean they dissolve. Some remain suspended in water, surrounded by water molecules. The resulting mixture is called a colloid. Hydrophobic substances are nonpolar substances that actually repel water. The molecules that make up the cell membrane are a combination of these hydrophilic substances and hydrophobic substances. Phospholipids have a hydrophilic head and a hydrophobic tail. Together, they form a cell's membrane. Many important reactions could not occur in our bodies if it was not for water's ability to dissolve substances. So, next time your body has an important reaction, you can thank water. Evapotranspiration is the process of water returning into the atmosphere from various surfaces. To return to the atmosphere, water has to become a gas. This is called vaporization. For the same reasons water has its high specific heat, water also has a very high heat of vaporization, or the temperature it turns into a gas. Evapotranspiration includes evaporation from the soil or a large body of water, and transpiration, which is water released by plants after it is used. Evapotranspiration is the first step in the water cycle. It allows water which our bodies and cells use every day to be recycled and spread across the earth. Water in the atmosphere also helps keep the world at a cool temperature, keeping terrestrial organisms from overheating and dying. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed this educational program about water and its properties. Remember, folks, stay hydrated, because if you don't, you may die.